catching, you know. That's an extraordinary story, and these women have been extraordinary inspirations for all of us, I'm sure. It's now my great pleasure to hand the microphone to Kay Hull, former member of the Riverina, who had the great pleasure of launching ErinEarth and now gets to do it all over again.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much, Steve. Well, thank you, firstly, ladies and gentlemen, for coming this morning to be part of this great occasion and ceremony. To Auntie Joycelyn, thank you. Wonderful story of country, and we really appreciate and acknowledge that we stand on our Wiradjuri country, and we pay our respects to elders, both past and present. Well, we've heard the journey today, and what a journey it's been, and it's just an inspirational journey. I think I must have been destined to be a little link in this journey, Carmel and Kay, because I'm a McElroy. My name is, my maiden name is Kay McElroy, and so we must have been destined to be a little bit on this journey somewhere along the pathway. And I note Mary Kitson sitting in the audience today, who was very much part and parcel of Wagga Wagga City Council, and all things good that came from environmental concerns over those years. And some of those stories that you told and the people that you mentioned are very familiar to both Mary and I in our years of representing this city of Wagga Wagga, and mine not nearly as long as Mary did. And I'd like to also acknowledge Mayor Greg Conkey here today, and thank you for coming along this morning, Greg. It's just such a visionary journey that was undertaken so many years ago, but just as visionary has been the journey that's been undertaken by sisters Carmel and Kay, and it's just been part and parcel of how we look at what we have and how we appreciate the world in the environment which we live in. And so today we're here to witness the transition of that vision from Sisters Carmel and Kay, who've not only served their lives answering their call, but have developed a deep and abiding passion to ensure our planet could and would sustain us, both physically, environmentally, and also emotionally. This vision will now transfer and move over to an equally dedicated group of volunteers with a vision all of their own, but always in sync with the desires and the beliefs of the founders. ErinEarth was established in 1998 by our presentation sisters and is now transitioning from its former structure as a ministry of the presentation sisters to a not-for-profit company, as Sister Carmel has indicated. ErinEarth has been built by many hands over the years and demonstrates the generosity of this Wagga Wagga community and what can be achieved when we all come together. In my role as working with the government in the area of drugs and alcohol, I often say to people that I meet from the Pilbara, Kimberley, Cape York, right across this nation, as I walk around, basically having discussions on the perils and the journeys of people who've engaged in, much like the original, probably partaking of, the drunken women who were turning up to church occasionally, But I have that conversation on a regular basis, and I always often comment that we must have our children understand that their body is their temple. Their body is their temple, and we must be vigilant about what we put into our body so that it can provide us with long and fulfilling life that can be shared with future generations that we might create. That body being the temple is a philosophy of ErinEarth in regard to our environment and our living world. To understand our environment at all levels, to educate, to have the conversation, to connect, but most of all to be alert and to listen to the signals that our environment and our earth is sending to us. There are volunteers who come here, as Sister Carmel and Sister Kay have both spoken about, on Thursday mornings, and there is an established friendship group with corrective services, with small groups of men and women doing their community service here rather than go to incarceration. And honestly, what a difference that makes to where they will make their way in the forward journeys of their lives. those people that they come into contact here are establishing much more than just coming and establishing with the earth. They're establishing a productive and positive pathway for many of the people that they meet right here on these lands. Those who are undertaking drug and alcohol treatments, as Sister Carmel has indicated, are also given the opportunity to experience the calm, the tranquility that is so often needed in one's journey with addiction. We know how hard life is when one is a palliative care patient or a worker or just a family member who's undertaking the caring role of the end of life of a patient, of a loved one that is dear, a friend, or just a community member that they've become attached to through some of their work. And they just by offering this reprieve from the intensity and stress of palliative care work is into this magnificent surrounds here. Honestly, for those who just want to sit and contemplate and have that little bit of peace and tranquility is something that is indescribable and immeasurable. And then there is the educating of our school children and our general community. All of this takes place on this small plot of land by a railway line, built up over 20 years from a former tennis court at the back of Mount Erin, Kildare High School, to a bushland oasis in suburbia. Sisters, we appreciate your journey this morning. We appreciate the journeys of those before you. We appreciate the struggles, the trials and tribulations of the community of Presentation Sisters who travel so far to deliver us from many of the vices that we've heard about this morning. I'm not sure that they've delivered us entirely. There's still a few hanging around, but you know, you've still got your job cut out for you. But it's delivered your vision. It has delivered so much more to so many. And as we close this one chapter, and it was easy to see why you were emotionally challenged this morning, Sister Carmel and Sister Kay, because you have been the beating essence of this whole project. We close this one chapter, we witness the next one unfold. Your volunteers and community that have supported you over so many years will continue your faithful work, and be assured that this will be your legacy for decades to come. And they are dedicated in serving the purpose that you commenced with. And with Sister Carmel living across the road, I don't think you've got any choice as volunteers, okay? That watchful eye will be on you. But as we come to this toward the end of this ceremony, where we're going to have the passing over of the lantern, thank you, each and every one of you, the volunteers, the supporters, the people who just come here to be. Thank you for coming again this morning, supporting this very emotional journey for the sisters, and I'm hoping that you will all continue to support our volunteers who are taking over this amazing journey and going forward with it. Thank you for having me this morning.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, and now